Hey everyone! In this video I want to talk about some popular cat litters and which one I think is best and why. So my main reason for trying out different types of cat litters is because when I wanted to first introduce cats to my home, I was really concerned about my home smelling like ammonia. And it gave me pause for quite a long time, but I really wanted cats. I grew up with cats and I had been missing having a pet in my home, but the thought of the cat litter smelling was really it stopped me for quite some time. So I began to research what else I could use because clay litter was not an option for me. Clay litter does not control odor, and I don't want my cats that live with me to be licking that off of their feet. Diligently began to research the litters that have the least smell, and my mother had to be moved to senior care, and I knew I would be taking her senior cats. They had some health issues, but I was happy to take them. I really loved her cats, and I was getting ready to welcome cats into my home, so it was perfect timing. I got crystal litter. That's what I decided to try first, and I brought, it might sound a little gross, but cats operate by smell. Here I'm bringing them to a new place they don't know. They know me, but they don't know my home. And I brought just a little bit, maybe 8-10 ounces of their litter that they had used, and put that into the box with the crystals. And I know that they were not fussy cats and it wouldn't really be an issue, but just so that they had something they were used to smelling, I put that in there and it worked out fine. So within the first few weeks of using that, there was no odor. However, it got really gummy, and it was tracking. All litters will track. There's just no way around that. But what was tracking were these hard, sharp particles that I was stepping on with my soft feet, and I can only imagine how uncomfortable it is for a cat. And while the pads of their feet that touch the floor are hard, or a little more calloused, the little tender spots in between the toes are not. So I realized that was probably not the most comfortable for the cat. And the cat's comfort, above me not wanting to deal with smell, the cat's comfort is going to be first priority. So I started to look at other options. The next option I tried is the wheat cat litter. Sweet Scoop and World's Best Cat Litter are wheat cat litters. And a bonus of this that was very appealing to me is it's flushable. So the feces can be flushed, and then you just dump the box out as the urine dissipates in the fiber of the wheat. And I was happy with this for about a year. So it certainly controlled the smell, and it had a smell of its own. So initially the odor was neutral, and then as the cats began to use it, so this is a 2-cat home, they both preferred to use the same box. And within 5 or 6 days, the smell would just get, I would say, a stale smell with a slightly sweet odor mixed with it in there. It was a little unusual. It wasn't unpleasant, but it still felt like there had to be something better. So I knew that I wanted it flushable. I love that it was natural. It tracks, but that's fine. I could easily vacuum that up, just kind of a little bit of a powdery fiber. So before I got these cats, I had started pet sitting through a professional pet sitter from time to time as my schedule allowed. And one of the clients I had, as you can imagine, I had, I think it was 31 cat clients. I saw all kind of litter setups in people's homes. And one of the clients had pine pellets, which upon first glance looks really strange for a cat litter. I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. She had made a freshly cleaned box, layered it with the pine litter, and all I saw was these pellets. And I thought, how on earth can that be a cat litter? So as the days went by, I would go over there twice per day as she requested, and I saw that the pine pellets were breaking down as the cat urinated, and the feces could just be scooped out and flushed in the toilet. And she had a scooper that allowed the large pellets to fall through. This litter was absolutely incredible. It smelled wonderful. It smelled like a Christmas tree because it's pine. And I thought I might give that a try. And lo and behold, that seems to be the perfect litter for me. So I introduced that to my cats, and it's been fantastic. So, just like I mentioned with the wheat litter, the pine is flushable. So, you want to kind of shake off the pine pellets that might stick to the feces, and then flush the feces, and then the pellets will break down each time the cat urinates, and there's no smell whatsoever. People don't even know I have cats when they come to my home. It's very inexpensive, and you don't have to use a lot. You just need a thin layer on the bottom, because as the pellets that are currently compacted, pine dust or pine saw put into pellets, so they're very tightly compacted, and as they get wet they break down and turn into sawdust. But that takes, for my two, I have these two large ragdolls now in a big box, and I don't use a whole lot, and I can go about a week without having to change out the litter. Now, one thing I will mention, this is just kind of how my brain works. I think it's a good idea to have a litter box. You know, I'm not down with the hiding it because they're ugly. I have a litter box in my bathroom so that I can see what's going on with my cats. And this helped me identify when my first ragdoll had blood in the stool, because had I not been seeing that frequently, I never would have caught it. But he had a food sensitivity that would cause him to have bloody, smelly stool and stomach cramping, and I was able to get that treated right away. I figured out what it was, and I'll do another video about that. But also it allows me to see how frequently they're urinating. That way I know that there's no crystals developing, and that they're going, about twice a day. That lets me know they're hydrated because they're drinking enough that they need to eliminate, and that also that they're not urinating too often, which could be an indication of something else. So I really encourage people to keep an eye on the litter box frequently. All right, so that is why I use pine litter for my cats. And when I got my Ragdoll, the breeder I go to, I was really pleased to see she also uses pine litter to train her kittens. So when I brought each of them home 1 year apart, they were already comfortable using the pine litter. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you have a litter that you love because it doesn't smell and it's convenient, or if you use clay litter, why you use it and why you like it.